tonight on the Night Team. As Selection Sunday comes to a close, we now know the seeds of our Kentuckiana teams in the NCAA tournament. Which teams made it, and which team is taking a seat on the bench for the big dance. Plus, a weekend of severe weather ripped through the country. An EF1 tornado confirmed in Orange County, Indiana.
You see the forecast that it's going to rain.
I start worrying.
And homeowners in Louisville are cleaning up from flooding after seeing almost 3 inches of rain in the last 48 hours. And later, Jefferson City Council members speaking out after Clark County, Indiana commissioners voted to remove the Utica Township Fire Protection District Board.
Why are we here if not to protect our citizens?
The legal action they've threatened to take. Right now on the WHAS11 Night Team. Well, it's a nice change of pace tonight, a quieter night tonight than we've seen the rest of the weekend. While we did start off our day today with some storms, things seem to be drying out across Kentuckiana for the time being. Thanks for joining us here on the Night Team. I'm Alex Dieterer. Meteorologist Danielle Moss joins us now from the Weather Center. And Danielle, we had an eventful weekend, but it seems to be starting off the week a little more on the calm side.
We definitely had a rainy start to our day, and now things are definitely quieting down. Most of that rainfall is off to our east. As of right now, we do have a few little places of moisture, and some people might even be seeing a snowflake or two this evening. Here is a live look into Jeffersonville. What a beautiful evening, very cloudy still as those clouds continue to linger around from that low pressure system that passed through today. Over the next 12 hours, our temperatures will be falling into the 30s. It's going to be a cold start to your Monday, but overall not too bad, really near average for this time of the year. Let's time it all out for you. Cloud cover lingering around overnight tonight, and as you prepare for your Monday morning around 9 a.m., we'll start to really see a lot of clearing, but then we'll have some partly cloudy skies as we head into the afternoon hours for Monday, and then more clearing skies as we head into late Monday evening. Our high, 57 degrees, mostly sunny, a little bit cooler, but we will be mostly dry. I wish I could say that we'll be done with the rainfall, but we are tracking several instances that will be bringing us a little bit of moisture within the next few days, and it starts on Wednesday. I have all the details coming up.
Thank you, Danielle. And across the country, the 3-day severe weather outbreak has left behind a path of destruction. The dangerous storms have claimed at least 3 dozen lives now. Residents are now just starting to assess the damage. Here's ABC's Allison Cossack with the details.
Oh, whoa!
More than 60 tornadoes have been reported across 8 states since Friday. In Tylertown, Mississippi, the tops of these trees snapped off, homes destroyed. Further north, the town of Taylorsville hit by this twister.
Can you stand? You want to go back down?
And in Elliott, first responders rescuing survivors trapped under this debris after this home collapsed. In Arkansas, a high-end EF3 tornado with winds of 165 miles per hour tore a path of destruction through Cave City.
This is my hometown, and just to see it the way it is just heartbreaking. It almost makes you want to cry.
A confirmed EF3 tornado in Bakersfield, Missouri as well. Homes and businesses in the area severely damaged. And a similar scene in Wayne County. This man helped rescue his aunt from her home.
She was trapped in that bedroom, only room standing left of this house. She was trapped in it. We got her out the window.
In Talladega County, Alabama, an EF2 tornado with winds up to 120 miles per hour, tossing this empty school bus into the old Winterboro gym. The roof and many of the walls gone. Anita Owens' mother is one of at least 3 people who died in Alabama. Her daughter discovering the house was destroyed.
She called me back and all she could say was, "Mama, her house is gone. It's leveled." And it's leveled.
And in Paulding County, Georgia, roads littered with fallen trees and power lines. The windows blown out of this man's home.
It would sound like a war zone. Stuff beating against the house, wind was whipping through.
What's left of this weather system is now dumping heavy rains across parts of the Northeast, with wind advisories issued from Northern Virginia up to Vermont. Allison Cossack, ABC News, New York.
Back here at home, the National Weather Service confirmed an EF1 tornado touched down in Orange County, Indiana yesterday as the storms rolled through. The storm came through the area in the early morning hours and was estimated to reach wind gusts of 95 miles per hour. Crews are continuing to survey the area. And parts of the Louisville metro area have seen almost 3 inches of rain in the last 48 hours. And with this area being a floodplain, that's enough to raise concern for some homeowners. WHAS11 night team's Clarice Shaley and photojournalist Aspen Hester spoke with a neighbor in Edgewood today who says his flood issues have only increased due to the lack of maintenance from MSD.
Last night, water was all the way over to that tree on this side because it couldn't go nowhere.
A weekend of storms.
Right, it's still staying in water. And it's like this all the way down through here.
Brings flooding that residents of an Edgewood neighborhood are no stranger to.
I've done been flooded out 4 or 5 times, and I can't take being flooded out no more.
This neighbor has lived in his home for over 20 years. He asked we didn't use his face or name on camera. He believes drainage along Kathleen Way is adding to the flooding problem.
See the standing water in it right there? I was down in that ditch last night with a shovel.
When it storms, he says he needs to clear built-up drainage pipes to stop flooding in his home.
And when you got, cancer problems, that's kind of hard to do. You can't come out here and get on your hands and knees and clean out a ditch that don't belong to you.
You can see some of the remnants of the driveways that used to be here, the homes that have been torn down. The homeowner we are talking to says that MSD has been buying out these properties because of that issue of it being the flood zone and tearing down the homes here. He's seen MSD with crews out cutting grass, but says he doesn't see them clear out the drainage that filters water from the neighborhood to a ditch nearby, even when he's asked them to.
They own this property. It's their responsibility to keep this clean. It's not mine. If somebody would just come out here and just maintain the ditches every now and then, they would solve the problem.
I looked at Jefferson County PVA property search and found not all vacant lots on Kathleen Way are owned by MSD. Some are owned by Louisville and Jefferson County Metropolitan or Metro government. I've reached out to MSD about these concerns and Public Works for information. At this time, I've not heard back from either. In Louisville, Clarice Shaley, WHAS 11 night team on your side.
Well, the big dance is here, and we now know where our teams are going to be playing in the NCAA tournament. Sarandon Merboyne joins us now to show us the latest bracket and where your favorite team ended up.
There were definitely some surprises when the final brackets were revealed, and there's going to be some few opportunities for people to see their favorite team not far from home. So first, let's start in the men's bracket in the South region. Louisville is the 8th seed matched up with the 9th seed Creighton. They'll play close to home as possible in the Lexington Regional, and the Cards will start the madness off in the round of 64, playing at 12:45 on Thursday. Now over to the Midwest region. Kentucky is headed to Milwaukee as a 3 seed. They're going to play Troy. That game is scheduled for Friday at 7:10 p.m. Over in the women's NCAA tournament, Louisville is a 7th seed in the Birmingham region. They will face off against the 10th seed Nebraska. But if you look down in the other half of the bracket, they could face TCU and former Card Haley Van Lith in the next round. And it's going to be a home court advantage for Kentucky. The Cats are a 4 seed and will play in Lexington against number 13 Liberty. And last but not least, Indiana did make the women's tournament. The Hoosiers are a 9 seed and will face off against number 8 Utah. And now the road to the Final Four starts now. These teams will all be battling out for their chance at a national championship. Unfortunately, Indiana did not make the cut in the final teams 64, but they will just have to start rebuilding for next year. It is the last year of Mike Woodson as the head coach of Indiana. For the rest of the teams, though, it's really exciting. We'll get to see Louisville and Kentucky fight for a national championship.
Can't wait to watch. Thanks, Brandon. A man is recovering tonight after a stabbing in Beechwood Village. Linden police say they responded to Marshall Drive around 5 this morning on a trouble run. When officers arrived, they found the scene was clear, but they did find blood. A short time later, a stabbing victim showed up to the hospital and was determined to be connected to the incident. The victim is expected to survive. Linden says they do have one person in custody in connection with the stabbing. Looking ahead this week, JCPS will vote on whether they want to merge 2 elementary schools to create more space for a middle school. Under the proposal, Whitney Young Elementary School would move into Engelhard's old Louisville building. The new school would be named the Whitney Young Magnet at Engelhard. The move is to help make space for Hudson Middle School's growing population, something board member Gail Logan Strange says will be good for all students.
Will be some shuffling, but it's some good shuffling. And like I said, the students at Engelhard will now be a part of a magnet and will have an opportunity to advance educationally. And so it's a win-win for all students.
JCPS is scheduled to vote on the proposal at their board meeting on Tuesday. A close Saturday vote saw former Indiana State Senator Karen Talion elected as the state's Democratic Party chair. Talion served in the state Senate for nearly 2 decades and also served as the Democratic caucus chair. She now has a tall task ahead with Republican supermajorities in both chambers. However, Talion says she hopes by focusing on the working class voter, they can turn that around.
We have a tremendous opportunity right now because of what is being blown up and chainsawed in Washington. I think people are not going to stand for that, and that we will have an opportunity to bring people back.
Some of the work Talion pledged to do will include holding town halls, possible weekly podcasts, and more voter outreach. Now to the battle over immigration. This weekend, the Trump administration deported hundreds of Venezuelans, claiming they're members of a notorious gang, and sent them to a prison in El Salvador. Tonight, the Trump administration shared this dramatic video from the president of El Salvador, showing alleged Venezuelan gang members arriving to his country overnight, marching into prison. The administration invoked an 18th century law and ignored a federal judge's ruling to temporarily cease deportations. Sources tell ABC News that the Trump administration made a calculated decision to ignore the judge's ruling to turn around the flights because they were already over international waters. But in a filing today, the Department of Justice claimed some gang members subjected to removal under the act were deported before the court's order. Next Saturday, the community will come together to celebrate the life of former Louisville basketball star and billionaire Junior Bridgeman, who died this past Tuesday. The 71-year-old was in front of hundreds of Scout leaders at the Galt House this week when he said he thought he was having a heart attack. We learned a few hours later that he had died. Today, the family released a statement saying a celebration of life will be Saturday, March 22nd at 11 in the morning at Southeast Christian Church on Blankenbaker. The family says in lieu of flowers, they encourage you to make a donation to the West End School. We have a link to donate on our website, WHAS11.com.